on this computer. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Strategy Genius Member School Spotlight. Today, we are featuring the school Columbus Academy in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, I'm Hua. I'm the Director of Contingency Searches, and I am joined by my colleague here, Nancy Nankabrus. And we are going to spend a little bit of this member school spotlight introducing our school. But first off, we're going to talk a little bit about us. All right. So, for those who are not familiar with us, Strategy Genius is one of the only BIPOC owned and operated search firms partnering exclusively with independent schools throughout the United States and some schools internationally. Some things that we pride ourselves is for over 20 years, Strategy Genius's core tenet is to promote and champion equality, equity, belonging in education by improving diversity among independent school teachers and leaders. For us, we see everything through an equity lens, and we consider our member schools and educators as partners. The educators we partner with are diverse in many ways and dimensions. Whether they are just starting out or ready to become head of school, the thread that connects our educators is their passion for DEIJB and their desire to seek out communities and schools that embrace and celebrate DEIJB. Our consultants have decades of experience mentoring and coaching educators. We are especially proud of how we have built relationships that span entire careers. We also take pride in supporting organizations and conferences that center diverse educators of equity. For example, we have a major sponsorship of POCC since 2001, and we are partnering with regional POCIS groups to help educators with their application process. We take partnering with our member schools seriously. Like educators, our member schools are diverse in size, philosophy, and in many other ways. The common thread connecting them is the commitment to DEIJB. As their partners, we push our member schools to think critically about the recruitment, hiring, and retention practices that pertain to diverse educators. Currently, we are partnering with over 135 member schools, most of them located on the East and West Coast, but now we're starting to focus some potential efforts in the Midwest. Each school is unique in its own way, and we feel lucky to get to know them when we visit and work with them. We realize that sometimes it's hard for educators to really get to know a school. We know that a website or social media account can always convey everything that makes a place special. So to bridge this gap, we're hosting the member school spotlights to give a school the stage and let them share with educators what makes their school special and unique. So the member school spotlights are recorded so that we can spread the word to everyone who couldn't make it today. So this is a 1-hour segment. This is an opportunity for folks to learn more about the school, to learn about the culture and the community, and what makes you curious to learn about them more. Today, we have 3 folks from Columbus Academy, and we are so excited to present to them or present to you the great things are happening. Some quick things about Columbus Academy is some things that caught our attention is their dedication to the development of their students with the partnerships of their families to ensure students' curiosities are not only allowed but encouraged. Columbus Academy is proud of the trust they've been able to establish to help support the growth of their students. They have dedicated time and resources to ensure their students are given the space to think outside the box. For instance, their 10th grade students are required to take a course on ethics and community, which help build the skills for recognizing implicit and explicit biases and how that impacts their decision making. They have a dedicated school-wide community event in the fall focused on giving back to people in need by collecting items to donate and dedicating their time to a local organization. All of this planning is led by their largest student-run group called the Service Board. Their core values of respect, responsibility, fairness, and compassion and honesty are embedded in their day-to-day to ensure everyone understands the importance of these elements to ensure people are felt as seen, heard, and valued. This is the foundation of their community. With that, I pass the controls over to our friends at Columbus Academy so they're able to share what makes their community so special.
Thank you, Huha and Nancy. What a great honor and a great privilege it is to be here today. Greetings, my name is Dr. Pascal Osambe, and I serve as the Director of Diversity and Community Life at Columbus Academy. And I'll pass it on to my colleague and friend, Pedro Mena.
Hello, my name is Pedro Mena. I'm the Director of Student Outreach and as well as an art teacher here at Columbus Academy.
Hi, everyone. I am Shannon Walder, the HR manager here at Columbus Academy.
And for the first action of the day, we'd like to introduce you to some of our why we do the work we do in our community, and that is for our students. And so please enjoy this brief presentation that we're going to show you about our students who are ready to thrive. So what we'll do now is we'll take you on a brief tour of our campus. And as we take a tour of our campus, we will talk a little bit about some highlights that have to do with our community and some of the programming that we have for our students. There'll be times where I will narrate some of the video that is being shown. And there are times where you will hear some people speaking about the school on the video itself. So without further ado, Shannon, thank you for playing the video. Right here we have Academy Hall. This is our administrative building. We are Columbus Academy, a K-12 school. We have about 1,150 students that are enrolled, 3-year-old all the way to 12th grade.
Teachers in our earliest childhood classrooms, they are working as guides really for our children, and then being very intentional about the activities and the materials that they put out for the children in order to move them to the next level in their developmental stages.
We have a nature-based classroom, and Shannon, if you pause here for a second. A number of years ago, I believe in 2016, our Board of Trustees approved a strategic vision. And one of the 5 strategic visions that they approved were for sustainability. In other words, how can we use our campus as a living classroom? We are very honored and blessed to have a campus that spans 230 acres. Much of that we don't have buildings on that 230 acres. And so we are looking at ways we can actively create a sense of sustainability and stewardship of our community using the physical space. One of those initiatives that we launched in 2019 is to allow for a nature-based playground to be built so that students can enjoy and appreciate the nature that is around them.
We try to set up as many opportunities for kids and adults to work together in kind of the non-traditional classroom setting. So as advisors, in clubs, as coaches especially, we feel like there's more opportunities that kids and adults are able to interact outside the classroom. They build relationship, kids develop a sense of belonging, and we're able to be advocates for the kids. And we not just say that, but also the kids feel it through the relationship they build with the adults.
In the upper school, we are committed to using our core values of respect, responsibility, honesty, compassion, fairness, integrity, and moral courage as a guide. This stage of development for your child is very important. In fact, research has shown that the habits and behaviors they carry out now will stay with them well into adulthood. As a result, we encourage things like a growth mindset, responsible citizenship, which includes digital citizenship, accountability, critical thinking, resilience, and independence, to name a few.
We can pause for a second, Shannon. A few years ago, we built this wonderful space in Morris Hall, the Art Gallery, and Pedro served as our department chair for many years before moving to his current role. And we bring in national and international pieces of artwork from wonderful, wonderful artists. We showcase a lot of student work here as well. Just last week, I believe, or the week before, we had the senior art show where our students were able to showcase the artistic talents and abilities. And every single year, it floors me about how talented our students are. One fun thing that happened was that faculty and staff could also bring in pieces of artwork to showcase here. And we saw the talent and the abilities of people we work very closely with. And so we are really lucky to have this space. The various activities are also done in this space. We host receptions and gatherings just to celebrate who we are as a community. So this is a very big community space that we have in at Columbus Academy. Can I pause here for a second? I want you to see the joy on all these kids' faces. This is a tremendous space. We just had the privilege of watching our musical. All the assemblies are hosted in this space as well. And the renovation was actually very critical because of the growth of our school and the enrollment as well. So we just love this space because it's another community space. So as you kind of go through this presentation, you will notice that community spaces are really important, as well as the rituals in these spaces are really important. We emphasize our core values continually, and we ask our students to honor those core values when they show up in these spaces constantly and continually. And so this is another community space that is a source of pride for us here. You pause here for a second, Shannon. This is the Crane Outdoor Learning Center. Due to the generous donation of a family that has a lot of, that partnered with us in this vision for our sustainability goal, we created an outdoor learning classroom where students could really be with nature as they learned. And you might be thinking of John Dewey, and yes, maybe that's what it is, but the Crane Outdoor Learning Center serves as a wonderful resource in our community, not only for students to explore nature and learn in the environment surrounded by nature, but allows them to also ponder the beauty of their surroundings and again, learn how to be good stewards of our community in these spaces. And so this is another wonderful community space that we have. Pause here for a second, Shannon. Athletics plays such a major role in our school. We have a tremendous athletic facility. We have a wonderful fitness center, and field house, gyms, and athletics is an extension of the academic environment. We partner very closely with the athletics department, and our teams every year annually are state champions. In fact, we are perennial powerhouses in football, in basketball, in golf. Our female golf team just won the state championship, and our male team won in previous years as well. But athletics presents such a wonderful opportunity for us to engage with one another. And so when we think of a student, we think of the mind, body, and their character as well. And so part of that is their physical fitness. As you'll see in subsequent images, we have a natatorium, we have some game and practice fields. And so athletics, movement, activity, getting off screens is such an important aspect of who we are as a school. So as you look at these images, just enjoy the wonderful facilities that we are really blessed to have at Columbus Academy. Well, thank you so much for taking a look at some of our campus and taking a tour. We have a wonderful physical plant. We have a lot of investment in it, and we encourage our community to inhabit it, to utilize it, and make sure that they are good stewards of what we've been blessed with regard to these communities, these facilities.
And Shannon, may you pause the video, please? And thank you for that wonderful campus tour, Pascal. I will now take you on a brief tour of Columbus, capital city, the 14th largest city in the U.S., and kind of home to a really wide array of cultural, education, and entertainment destinations that we'll just share some snapshots and highlights. So Shannon, can you resume the video, please? And so the downtown Columbus is made up of, kind of our cultural entertainment business hub, the Uptown Arena and Discovery districts, and expanding out into the suburbs with shopping and dining retailers that feature local, national, and international entrepreneurs. We're looking at Huntington Park, home of our Clippers AAA team, and it's neat to think of this ballpark when it opened up. It won beat the new Yankee Stadium that came out the same year as far as ballpark design. But, I think for many people outside of Ohio, Columbus, what comes to mind is our, Big Ten college football presence. But beyond that, we do have three major sports franchises in soccer, baseball, hockey, and not to mention our college athletic powerhouse. You may resume the video, Shannon. And beyond that, here's our skyline and the Scioto River that connects over 20 metro parks. Columbus Museum of Art, a wonderful collection of modern and contemporary art. We saw the COSITE, our Science Museum and Research Center, led by the Emmy Award-winning Dr. B, QED with Dr. B, if you've seen that TV show. One of our most recent cultural institutions, the Veterans Memorial here, our fan favorite Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. It's really popular neighbor Zambezi Bay for some summer fun in the sun. And these metro parks that I mentioned, there's over 20 that span 28,500, let me get that right, acres of land and water, over 230 miles of trails to hike, bike, run, and wander. As someone that's come from both coasts and independent schools, the outdoors and nature was kind of key to deciding on my next role, and just knowing that there was this much space was really something when I first came to visit. You may continue, Shannon. And there is so much more. That's just kind of scratching the surface for those unfamiliar with this, with Cap City. Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro, for that wonderful tour of Columbus. Makes me want to re-sign my contract for next year, which I already did. Shannon, don't be nervous. Well, we at Columbus Academy, for the 2022-2023 school year, we're very proud of the fact that our admissions team has worked very hard, and we are at 46% of students identifying as students of color. A statistic that we are frequently asked is how much of that is Black African American, about 9%, and our Hispanic Latino students are growing as well in the population. About 25% of our students are provided with tuition assistance every year. And what we have done, the admissions team has been very intentional. And so they've partnered with Test Innovators, which is an organization that gives the ISEE test. So they offer a free test preparation course for applicants who are looking at Columbus Academy, grades 5 through 12. We've also been very intentional with diversity practitioners sitting on all the admissions committee. And as part of our strategic vision, our admissions committees undergo racial competency and anti-bias training on an annual basis to make sure that we are being inclusive in our decision making as well. When we look at philanthropy, our community has been so generous. Charlie Walker, class of '69, one of the first African Americans to go to Columbus Academy or to graduate from Columbus Academy. Some alums, especially our very active Black African American alumni, have started a memorial fund. In addition, the school has decided to start a student support services fund that meets the needs of families and students that just need extra funds for incidentals outside of their tuition assistance as well. When we look at hiring and recruitment, about 18% of our faculty and staff are faculty and staff of color. And to date, about 30% of our administrative team are also faculty and staff of color as well. So this has been a very intentional effort over many years as well. When we look at school leadership, administration, faculty and staff, when I look at a school, I often look at how much time and how many resources are put in to the work of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And so in-house, our school charges us with putting on the department 6 trainings a year in-house for all our faculty and staff. All our faculty and staff set goals for diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging as well. And they hold themselves accountable as well as their direct reports as well. When we look at student life, in the middle and in the upper school, we have 25 Affinity Alliance groups. And I should even say that's 27 because we had 2 more join our Middle East, Eastern European group. And also a group called the Global Leadership Council has come under the Affinity Alliance groups. And each group has a trained faculty and mentor. And each student who serves as a leader in these Affinity Alliance groups undergoes training as well. And we just had a wonderful celebration where we passed leadership down to subsequent leaders of these groups. In addition, there's also an overarching group in the upper school called United CA. So all the affinity group leaders and our student council form this body called United CA, and they plan robust programming for the students throughout the course of the year. When we think of our parents and guardians, we are also really lucky to have a vibrant parent-guardian affinity group. And so we have 4 main parent-guardian affinity groups. I should say 5, actually. We have CAPSA, which is our parent-guardian affinity group for our South Asian families and friends and people that have an interest in South Asian culture. The Chinese Parents Association, which is one of our long-standing affinity groups. Mosaic, which is our Black and African American parent affinity group, and Ola, which is our Hispanic and Latinx parent guardian affinity group. And then we also have United, which is anyone who wants to engage with this work and really become purposeful in knowing how to support these groups, also have an avenue to do that through United. We have a very vibrant SEED program, our educational program for parent guardians, where once a month they'll meet and talk through a book or so an article or anything that is kind of on their hearts and minds with regard to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And I should mention that these groups are not exclusive. They're inclusive groups, so anybody is welcome to join and anybody is welcome to be part of these groups. Our alumni are very vibrant. One of our most active groups are our Black African American alumni, and we host about 3 different programs a year, and a lot of them serve as mentors for our students. And we have a wonderful, every alumni weekend, we have a wonderful event where parents and guardians, alums and students come together to really share space and share advice, wisdom, and support each other as well. In the curriculum, we are very intentional with diversity in our literature. And so we have our credible book project, especially in the lower school. We have our academic classroom experiences, which are a set of guidelines for every single teacher for how to create an inclusive environment in their curriculum, in the academic culture as well. We offer a bunch of electives. We are part of the Global Online Academy and Malone Global Scholars Program. And we are also talking consistently about how to become a valued resource for all our students, and particularly our students of color in our community as well. So this is just a snapshot of some of the ways we are thinking about this work, engaged in this work. And and I think this is an important fact to mention, that we were the first school in Central Ohio, not even in our region, but in Central Ohio, to have a full-time diversity practitioner. And this was almost 20 years ago. And so this was a new concept. And so this has been part of the fabric of who we are as a school consistently. And the school invests time and resources to make sure that we are being inclusive as a school. Well, thank you for listening to that short segment, and I will pass it on to Shannon to show us some videos. I can tell you all day, but let's hear from the students themselves.
I am the founder and current president of MOUSE, which is the Student Association for Students of Mixed Race. And I'm also a co-president of the AC Club, which is for students of South Asian descent. And I also serve as the president of United Columbus Academy, which is a coalition of minority student leaders. I think affinity groups in general, when it comes to people that might be coming from multiracial backgrounds, which is becoming a lot more common within our community. I know there's a ton of multiracial students that are underclassmen, and that's been really fulfilling for me as a leader to make bonds with younger mixed kids and like serve as a mentor for them.
I remember when I was in Boss Junior in middle school, I saw the co-captains of Boss High School, and I just saw that they had, created this community where, everyone felt comfortable around each other. One of the things that we really wanted to prioritize was getting food for every meeting, and Miss Porter, she made it happen.
Yeah.
It seems like everything that we wanted to do, she was like, we can do that, we
so
can
true.
accommodate for you. Music by Black artists play during lunch, during Black History Month, and she organized for the music to play during high school lunch, and
awesome.
that was something that I hadn't even thought of.
She's been so amazing when it comes to prioritizing teaching new affinity leaders what to do, not assuming that, oh, just because the student is South Asian and a senior, they understand how to lead a South Asian affinity group. It's really like cultivating this supportive environment for kids to learn how to be a leader.
The program is kind of about fostering a connection between the oldest and kind of the models of the school with the future and the up and coming. As a student K-Buddy leader, I was selected by Miss Benning and I think a couple of other members of the faculty. It was just something that she thought that I would enjoy, and I've been really loving it so far. When we have scheduled events with the K-Buddies, I pretty much do everything that I can to inform the senior class. And also one of the coolest things we do is the K-Buddy letter system. When we have the kids write us letters, we write them back. But overall, it's something that I enjoy, something that's just on top of everything else at Academy, and it's been nice to connect with the younger kids in the process.
All right. Well, I will talk to you about the benefits that we offer to our employees. So we don't have a waiting period for anything. We offer a comprehensive coverage that is available to all employees on their first day of employment, as long as they're full-time, meaning working 30 hours or more, for health, dental, and vision. Our medical plan, we have 2 plans that are available to employees. We do a traditional PPO plan, as well as a high deductible health plan that has a health savings account that the school contributes to annually as well. For our dental insurance, we have Guardian as our provider, with your annual, yearly preventative checkups that can happen 2 times a year. For vision, we have iMed as our provider. We also offer life insurance at a $100,000 life insurance benefit, as well as you can opt in for supplemental insurance as well if you wanted additional on top of that $100,000 benefit. Something new that'll be happening beginning in July 1 of this year is that for all new employees, there's no waiting period. There'll be a retirement match at 7% on your first day of hire. So no waiting period. You don't have to wait a year. On the first day, it'll be a 7% match, as long as you contribute a certain amount to that as well. And then we do offer additional benefits as well. We have our employee assistance program, which offers 3 free counseling sessions a year, 3 free coaching sessions a year, which I think is really important to mention, and also a lot of additional resources. One day an employee said, do we have any legal resources that I could use or tap into? I want to create a will, see what I can do to get that started. And I was able to refer to the employee assistance program that kind of offered those additional resources for them to use. We do offer early retirement incentives. So there's certain requirements to meet, but if you work a certain amount of years and reach a certain age, you have the option of being eligible to opt into our the medical plan up until you reach Social Security age, which is a huge benefit because a lot of factors that go into retirement, a lot of people consider the benefits, which can be a concern, but we give you that option so you might not have to worry about it. We have our CASE program, which is the Children's Aftercare experience from 2:30 to 6 p.m. That's free to all faculty and staff. So if there's additional things that you need to do throughout the evening hours, your children can attend CASE. We offer professional development opportunities. Pretty much if there's anything that employees are interested in as far as furthering their career or just even becoming knowledgeable in different subject matters, we offer that. You can achieve that. We also have a generous paid leave with unlimited sick time. And we offer a technology loan for employees, so up to $2,000 if you wanted to get a laptop on your own. We basically set up a payroll deduction so you can purchase the item and then we'll take out that money for that loan. We offer grants to employees as well. We had a couple of employees this year. They went to Ireland and other places. So a lot of different opportunities that we offer. I was just speaking to someone earlier and he said he went to Ecuador and Costa Rica and we made that possible. We also offer free school lunch every day, which is a perk for those who love to eat good food. And we, as Pascal was talking about community earlier, we try to incorporate that. So we have beginning of the year faculty and staff events along with end of the year events as well, so that we can all come together. And we also do community service at least. We try at least one time throughout the academic year for all faculty and staff to come together. And I think that ends our presentation.
All right, thank you so much for sharing information about Columbus Academy. I think it's great to have the kids be able to speak about their experience because at the end of the day, that's what we do this work for, is for the students. So to be able to see a video where they feel like they're valued, that their opinion matters, that snacks are provided for their meetings, but also being able to integrate cultural elements in, you know, downtime, like being able to have a local band who during Black History Month to play at lunchtime but also having connections with the upper school and the younger students, because I think when I was working with upper schoolers, they didn't recognize the impact they had as being an older kid. So when they see those connections with the little ones, it's really heartwarming to see that. So we have some questions that our educators have asked. Nancy's going to ask a few, I'm going to ask a few, and then we'll go from there. So Nancy, go for it.
All right. Well, thank you. I thought that was awesome. I learned a lot about Columbus Academy. So if I were in the market, which I am not, I think this is really very helpful. And it's genuinely sparked more questions for me. So here are a couple. What would you say are some personal qualities and attributes that successful candidates to Columbus Academy would embody?
I think an important way to answer that question is we value community. And so what does that mean? We value being able to invest in our students outside of the classroom. We go to games, performances, various contests. And so the students will tell you that they really appreciate that. We really value the relationships that we have with our students. We often say, as a philosophy, when a student maybe needs a little more guidance, maybe due to behavior, we bring them in versus isolate them. We bring them a little closer to us, and we start to kind of instruct and teach. And of course, we have boundary lines that shouldn't be crossed, because if you do cross them, then you might be signaling that you are not you're impacting the community adversely. So as somebody that is invested in relationships, in community, when I come to work, I know that people know me not only for what I do, but for who I am. Things that are important to me, my family, things that are important to my identity. I've gone on a PD day and I've been really vulnerable with people about some of the ways I'm experiencing the world. And so I would say that somebody who wants that type of community feel, that community environment, I think will really benefit from and add value as well to our community.
That was an awesome answer. I don't know, Pedro or Shannon, if you have anything to add to that. But I think Pascal did the thing there, so I can just go on to yes, I'm getting some head nods. Go on to my next question. All right, fantastic. So this is not necessarily for you, Pedro, but something you said sparked for me a thought about how you've taught at schools or been at schools on both the East and the West Coast. And a lot of our candidates are on the coasts. So from y'all's opinion, what would you say would draw people away from what might be more of their comfort zone on the East and West Coasts to Columbus Academy and to Columbus and to Ohio, generally speaking?
It's a great question, Nancy. Thank you. So all the creature comforts, the things you can't live without it, whether it's in entertainment, shopping, cultural fixes, hobbies, opportunities to learn and grow outside of your subject you teach, your discipline, your personal life, they're all here without the hassle. And I can speak to that. There's several colleagues here that have worked on the coasts and other independent schools, and it's interesting to connect casually over our shared experiences. Like, yeah, our airport's only 15 minutes away. We never have to, it goes anywhere you want. And it's just, it's easy, right? Cost of living, of course, is always a big discussion topic comparatively to larger cities on the coasts, and but I think it's like that, the ease of being able to settle into somewhere new, especially if you're not grounded with family or someone there's kind of an instant community here, I've felt, and all those touch points that I miss from the Bay Area, from the Northeast, that I thought I would. I wasn't sure if I would be able to live without. I mean, the first thing is like, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Pedro, no mountains, no oceans. What are you gonna do? And as I shared in that snapshot of our metro parks, yes, we are landlocked, I guess. However, it's amazing to think of the Great Lakes just a 2-hour drive away, and skiing 50 minutes away, and all these kind of outdoor enthusiast activities, if those speak to you, without any planning needed, right? I share this, that love taking my young son who is here to sporting events, as he's learning different games and participating in Parks and Rec. And you could just drive up to a ballpark and buy tickets at the will call and get a great seat for a low cost price, instead of planning in advance, trying to get those experiences. It's just ease. Yeah.
I love that answer. As a New Yorker born and raised who currently lives in North Carolina, that is literally how I describe my life here more, is it's just easier. And, I will die as a New Yorker. I will never personally never call myself a North Carolinian, but I enjoy it. There is life outside of New York City. There is life outside of the Bay Area. And there's a lot to offer. And it sounds like Columbus Academy will really fold people up in their arms and bring them into the community. So it sounds really lovely. Hua, over to you.
Okay, thank you. So my last question of the day is, what would your past self want to know about the school that you know now?
I think for me, the wonderful legacy and history of Columbus Academy, and the kind of the progressive thought and how intentional they are with thinking about who we need to become in the future. And so I was also on the East Coast when I, kind of ventured towards the Midwest. And what I was so Columbus itself, as Pedro was saying, offers so many benefits. We have major headquarters here: Abercrombie and Fitch, Express, Victoria's Secret, DSW Shoes, Wendy's, Bob Evans, all Value City Furniture. So I was just, when I think about your question, Hua, I think of how pleasantly surprised I was at some of what the city has to offer, the rich history of the school, the connections, and how significant the school is in the city of Columbus as well. And I kind of forgot your question, so I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm going to stop there.
I'll add to that. I don't know if you all or anyone out there tuning in, caught Columbus, Ohio, and the national and international news as far as Silicon Heartland, and that's for real. That's not a bumper sticker. The Intel is building the first computer chip manufacturing global. They chose us for that ease, right? The location in the country, the diverse workforce, and the cost of living, and all those things. And that is going to be, the next 20 years is going to be an expansion of this city and its people like no other. We already are such a international, made up of international residents. We have 11 sister cities. These are things that I didn't know anything about. So my past self, I wouldn't have, I didn't know what to expect until I set foot on campus and kind of got around the city. But to know that we have a robust people from everywhere and coming and growing. It's an exciting time to kind of consider this place.
I would say I'll speak more about the school. I think the value of community here is what I would tell my past self. There are this is a very close-knit type of, kind of like a family feel. Everyone supports each other. They don't judge, just very supportive in all aspects. Like some people have their little tribes and close friend groups that they run to where they can feel open and are vulnerable and can discuss their issues and troubles that they're having. So community is really big here, and I think it's very important too. Normally in a work setting, you kind of have your guard up, but here you can kind of let it down and feel open with one another.
All right. So again, thank you so much for your time with us to be able to talk about the amazing things that's happening in your community and outside your campus walls. We look forward to sending people your way, and have a great day, folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you all.
much.
Okay.